I came to Vegas because the cartel was offering me a shortcut home. But the problem with shortcuts is there's usually a catch.
Go home, Russ. I'll deal with this horseman character. I owe you, buddy.
After the events of the last few days, it didn't really surprise me the third horseman had come to town. My past, it seemed, was out for blood. Told Ted thanks, but no thanks. Just give me one more hour. There's something I have to do. Didn't want any more crimes committed in my name. Not if I could help it, anyway. Word spread pretty fast that the Walker was taking on a new challenger. I knew my fans would be disappointed, but I wanted to end the violence, not incite more. My plan was simple. I was going to give back JD's Bible and Polaroid. I'd taken those things to undermine his credibility, prevent him from brainwashing others. But I finally saw the futility of my actions. Vegas showed me people don't need proof to believe in something. They just need something to believe in. And whether it was the Walker or JD, I couldn't control where they put their faith. Those were choices people had to make for themselves. My hope was that the horseman would see he was in hostile territory and accept my offer. There's been too many dead. This war between us has to end. Take this back to JD. Tell him I only want peace in return. Being flexible is a virtue. Heard that countless times from Janelle. But I've always been stubborn, resistant to a change of plans. And that day in Vegas, I was determined to hold my ground against the horseman. I'm giving you one more chance. Please, take the Bible and the Polaroid back to JD. Tell him the violence has to end. Unfortunately, the horseman was unyielding too.
You must pay for your sins, Walker.
Get him!
On one hand, I should have been grateful. The way that crowd rose up to defend me. But I wasn't grateful at all. In fact, I was horrified. Those people were like a pack of wild animals I had no control over.
No. Stop! Stop!
Seeing that boy's face, I had to fight back the nausea. The truth was inescapable. I was no different than JD or Arnold. I had become a man others would kill for, regardless of morality or reason. I had become everything I despise.
You realize what we got here? We got a frickin' army, my friend. We can wipe out those stinking historians and all the other nut jobs out there. We can change the world, Russ. All you gotta do is say the word.
It's over.
Over? We're just getting started. Oh, come on, Russ. You can't just walk away.
Honestly, I didn't blame Ted or anyone else for what happened. It was all on me, the choices I'd made. That's what made my change of plans so necessary. Won't need that ride after all.
You sure? Next transport to Portland's not for another month.
I'm sure. I'm not going home. I'd put my trust in others, put my trust in the road. And instead of my journey taking me home like I'd hoped, it was ending here, on the top of Mount Charleston. After leaving Vegas, I just started walking. Wanted to get as far away as possible from that town, those people. But no matter how far I got, it wasn't far enough. By the time I reached the top of the mountain, I realized I was trying to get away from myself, from the person I'd become after the fall. I remember standing up there, looking out at the world, and seeing a wasteland. A world ruled by fear, devoid of hope. And I knew that I was as much to blame as anyone, maybe more. There was no denying my path across the country was littered with mistakes, with violence and casualties, with tragedies and regrets. So many regrets. I am the walker. It all made me wonder. Out of the billions of people who disappeared, why me? Why did I survive? What was the point? So I could learn how to defend myself? How to hunt animals? How to kill myself with poison berries? Figured the world would be better off without me.
Burn it. Burn it down.
Russ! Come on, Russ, get up here! Help!
And my family. Just knowing that if I died, they might be safe. Absolved of all my sins. I have to tell you, that thought brought a sense of relief I hadn't felt in so long. So long. I didn't go to that mountain to die. Just wanted to get a new perspective. But once I got up there, really thought about my life. Seemed like the hope that had fueled me was finally gone. There was no good reason to live anymore. Soon after I ate those poisonous berries, though, regret started creeping in. For a moment, I actually thought it was the Grim Reaper I'd eluded back in Vegas.
Hey, a half pint?
Seeing Eli again up on that mountain, it seemed impossible. I couldn't open my mouth. I was paralyzed. Then he proceeded to tell me the story of his own downfall. How he'd been a successful jeweler in Manhattan, but the more successful he got, the more he worried about getting robbed. So he bought a gun, and he used it one night on his way home.
Thought I was getting mugged. Turned out the poor guy just wanted to smoke.
When the man died, Eli went into a deep depression, lost his business and his will. Ended up on the streets, just like the man he'd shot.
Then, one night I started feeling like there was no good reason to live anymore. Who knew? That was the night of the fall. Been stuck in limbo ever since.
So you're what? A ghost?
Think of me as that new perspective you were after. When I look back on your path, I don't see failures. I see little Jason safe in Mommy's arms. I see Luther free from New Eden. I see Aurora, Amarillo, and Wichita. All places you made better. And I see Liam, a kid who owes you his life. Look, I know things seem bleak today, but tomorrow could be a whole different world. Don't make the same mistake I did, Half Pint. Trust the universe. It got you this far, right? It's never too late, kid. Not until the rigor mortis sets in.
That's when I realized. I was the Grim Reaper. I was the one who decided if I lived or died. All I had to do was trust the universe. Was it just a coincidence I didn't eat enough poisonous berries to kill myself? Or did the universe not want me dead? Was there some larger purpose for me that hadn't yet been revealed? I think about that often. Every time I feel the same despair that almost cost me my life. When I came down off the mountain the next day, it was just like Eli said. The world looked completely different. All the self-doubt that tainted my vision was gone. Where before I saw a world full of problems, now I was seeing the endless potential. I couldn't wait to get home, until I saw something that gave me pause. At first I thought it was wildflowers, but they weren't flowers at all. They were metal stakes, tied off with ribbons. All I could think was, who would do such a thing, and why? There was a ledger mounted to a post. Inside were thousands of names written by hundreds of different hands. That's when it hit me. Someone was making a tribute to everybody we lost in the fall. I couldn't believe it. A project like that would take a lifetime. And there I was, just worried about getting home. Eli had opened my eyes, but it wasn't until I saw that monument that my perspective truly changed. I realized I had to stop thinking only about myself, about my family. The universe had brought me this far because it needed more from me. So I had to let go.
Shoemaker, I thought you were headed home on that Portland transport.
Something I have to do first, at NORAD.
Well, what do you know? I'm going that way. Cartel's opening an office in Colorado Springs.
After so many setbacks along the way, it felt good to finally catch a break. Was it just another coincidence? Or was the universe rewarding me for choosing a new path?